everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Everyone, please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to start out tonight by going straight to our spotlight on education.
And I have invited Marcus Record, our SRO officer, to give us a little update. He had some training this summer, and he's been with us since March, and so I invited him just to come share with the board what he'd like to share. You can stand. You can be loud. You don't have to do this if you're loud.
That's fine. I've brought some cards to help me kind of remember. So I just want to say thank you for everyone for giving me the opportunity. So I really appreciate that. Kind of start out. So over summer I went to SRO school, learned a lot about school law. So last year there was times where I wasn't 100% school law, and regular policing is a lot different. So coming to the school, there were some areas I wasn't 100% sure with. So this summer really helped me kind of better understand what I can and can't do. So I'm really thankful for that. Kind of go over a little bit of last year. Had 26 entries is what it came out to. Those can be different, kind of vary depending on what it is, like mentoring a student or just calls for assistance throughout the schools. So I had 26 of those. So far this year we had 3. That's not a whole lot, and those kind of vary on different things, just if administrators need me or my self-initiated checks and things of that nature. Kind of want to go over the 3 goals I really have for this year. First one was just increasing my classroom involvement. Last year, coming at the end of the year, just a kind of odd time. So this year I kind of set up a Google form that I have sent out to all the teachers and everybody, so they can request times that I can go into classrooms, whether it's like for visitations or just a visit. For elementary, it's a lot easier to get into classrooms. You can go read a book, so that's a lot easier. Just make yourself visible. So my goal for like the high school and middle schools is to do some more presentations inside the school, just kind of different topics I can help out with. Also, as I want to improve our safety throughout the school, I feel like that's a big thing, obviously. This year, I'm going to kind of a little bit different on how we do a little bit of the drills. We had a good conversation today is to empower the teachers a little bit more. So I'm going to be kind of shutting down some exits during fire drills and tornado drills to kind of make them think of like your second, third option. So we're going to be doing that to kind of just keep everybody on their toes and like empower them to, these things aren't going to go exactly how we think they are. So let's kind of throw that curveball in there and help out a little bit that way. Also, I've been in conversation a lot with, I work well with the Winmack Police Department, obviously, and I've been working with the county a lot. They've helped me out as well. So I feel like building those relationships kind of help out a lot. So I think that's a lot better. And just building a relationship throughout the school with all the students. I think that's a huge thing. I want to be more visible during dismissal and pickup. Get myself out there, let the teachers, the staff, everybody, the parents kind of get to know me, show myself out there as well. I'm excited to be at the school events this year. Coming at the end of the year, there's not really a lot of school events I was at, so I look forward to being at the football games and volleyball tournaments and basketball. So don't really have a lot. That's about all I have. So I just look forward to getting this full year under my belt and kind of figuring out what more I can do for the school.
Appreciate you coming in tonight. It's great to hear that you've got a lot of things planned, and we really appreciate your dedication and wanting to do as good as you can.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And I just want to say, although we might not be calling him multiple times throughout the day, his visibility and his presence, and we've had some situations that we've talked through already this year that we just wanted him on campus, and it's been very helpful. I see him out there in the mornings. He can't be both places at once, but he's out and about, and helped us with a situation after school today. And I love to see him interact with the students. I saw him at some events last year at the elementary. He was participating in some tug of war and some other events that the kids are really getting to interact with him. So
that's good. Did you let him win?
No. Good. A competitor, me can't do that. I can't do that.
He did get pied in the face, though.
I did. I bet that's what.
That was a quick note, too, wasn't it?
Does anybody want to add anything else? We just really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's approve the agenda for this evening. Do you have any additionals, Mrs. Cheese?
I do not have any changes for tonight's agenda.
Any discussion on it? If there is none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. That brings us to public comment for this evening. Mrs. Grandstaff, do we have anyone signed up?
There was no one.
Okay. No public comment for this evening, so we will move on to consent agenda items. First, we will look to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of July 14th. Is there any questions or discussions on those minutes? If there is none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That'll bring us up to our financial items for this evening. Mrs. Grandstaff.
Our first source bank statement balance for the month of July was $6,718,944.47. Our first federal bank statement balance is in the amount of $510. Our first source bank's 6-month CD matured in July, so I renewed that again with First Source that they had the best interest rate, so that will go through to January. The monthly claims in July were in the amount of $1,267,153.38. Your claims and fund report are attached in your packet. The EPCSC summary is also attached for your review. There was no cafeteria transfer or grant cleanups or liability cleanups for the month of July. Your Medicaid to education fund transfer was included. There's also a multi-year contract. It's with Bartronics. It's a 10-year subscription for a two-way radio license. So in that way the buses have access to two-way radio. And then the summary of education expenditures is in your packet as well.
Are there any questions or discussions on the financial packet for this evening? No one has anything. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the financial report.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up will be our personnel items for this evening. Mrs. Cheesem.
I'd like to make one clarifying statement. As far as the bus drivers, I did have a great question over the weekend, and I didn't get the answer emailed out to everyone. The question was, with the drivers, what is their pay? I was recommending a $5 a day increase. Currently, they're making $100 a day. That would raise it to $105 a day. We typically count on the drivers working 3 hours, an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon. Some of the routes might not take that full 3 hours. They might have fewer stops, more students, and have town stops. Others have more spread out, mileage and less stops. So that's the difference. I had not included that in the board packet. And then the training, that hourly rate at $17 an hour, that would not change. That's what we have been using in the past. We did do a survey with some area schools, and that puts us in line with them. We were low, and that brings it back up to where the area schools are. So I would request your approval of the personnel items in the board packet.
I make a motion to approve them as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that item? I did want to, it's not really personnel, but since you brought up buses, are we seeing the same struggles with the software we kind of had last year, or has that kind of gotten under control?
I have not had anybody call in. I know I was watching one morning to try and see when they were starting, and it was glitching. When all the bus drivers, except for the one that I was trying to watch, was glitching, and I don't know if that person was in a dead zone for a while before they came back out and then it worked, but I have not had any phone calls. How about you, Taylor? You've got some
It's delayed a little bit or glitchy, but
We think it's okay for now, then keeps
I think it's better than it was, yeah.
better. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the personnel items. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Next up will be our action discussion items for this evening, starting with some Neola policy updates for a first reading only.
Okay, so this is yet another one that they have sent out. It includes 16 policies and 1 technical correction. The revisions recommended are deemed necessary to comply with changes in the law, both state and federal, most particularly the recent session at the Indiana General Assembly. In addition to those, as well as Policies 5540, 554001, and 554002 pertaining to government agencies. That actually was in the last update, and I didn't have them edited in time to get them through for our first reading, so they are included in this one as well.
Okay. Any questions or discussions on this first reading? If there aren't any, then I'll move on to our donations for this evening.
Okay. I am actually adding a donation here that was not in your board packet. We had Jane Roush donated $100 for some school, as well as school supplies and socks. We had an anonymous donation of $2,000 for school supplies. We had another donation for $2,000 for elementary field trips and the middle school, high school sharing closet in memory of Sharon and Brad Breifogel. We had ECA donations, $2,500 donated to FFA by the Rose Acre Farms, $1,525 to FFA contributions in memory of Tim Alexander, and $2,500 donated to the girls basketball program. I would request your approval to accept those generous donations, please.
I make a motion to accept them.
We'll have discussion first.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll get you straightened out, Steve. Any questions or comments on the donations?
I think it's great. That's awesome.
Would you like to make a motion, Mr. Rush?
I would make a motion to approve them,
Second.
accept them.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, we have an MOU with Indiana Wesleyan.
This MOU renews our agreement for student teaching experiences. It's a 5-year agreement that they have asked us to sign in the event that they would have a student teacher that is interested in being placed here at Eastern Pulaski. So I would request your approval for that MOU.
Questions or discussion? If there is none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion we approve the MOU with Ivy Tech.
Indiana Wesleyan?
Well, I'm stuck at the wrong thing. I was reading.
Jumping ahead one.
One ahead, sorry, Indiana Wesleyan.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And that will bring us to the MOU with Ivy Tech.
This MOU renews our welding pathway program, so I request your approval of this MOU as well.
Questions or discussion? Ready to jump on this one, Mr. Campbell?
Yes. I'll make a motion we approve the MOU with Ivy Tech.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Now we're going to talk about our track resurfacing.
Okay, Mr. Leverance has been doing a lot of research and learned that the track was originally built back in 1980. Leslie Coating, also known as the Town and Country Construction, did a complete rebuild on it in 2002 for $84,000. That same company did our last and only track resurfacing in 2016 then. Because of the age and the additional layer of rubber applied to it, it would require an 1.5-inch asphalt mill and an 1.5-inch asphalt overlay, followed by new latex track surface. Mr. Leverance did obtain 2 other quotes, and staying with this same company is the most competitive bid. They are scheduling out to next summer. The bid is right under $200,000. The track is in rough shape, and this would completely redo all the pits, right?
Yep. All the runways.
And so we would like to go ahead and get on their schedule for next summer. I don't see it getting any cheaper, and I think the safety of our athletes is important to get this taken care of. So Steph and I have talked about our operations fund. That's where this money would come out of, is our operations fund. And where we are right now in our appropriations, we're going to be able to hold some of this money to pay for next year. And we'll be encumbering it to pay for next year's track resurfacing. So we would like to go ahead and get this on the schedule.
So we'll probably pay for it out of this year.
Correct.
But it won't get done till next year.
Correct.
With the milling and then the resurfacing, will that change the elevation of it at all?
I think across the board it should be even. I think it would go down a little bit.
I know along the
if
bleachers.
You're out there right now, you can kind of see.
Especially around the football bleachers on the side along there, it's kind of tall. So, and does this include painting and everything?
Yes. Yep. New asphalt, mill down, new asphalt down, and then they're coming in line it for us.
Pretty much full finished product when they're done. No other additional expense to it. Any other discussion?
How long will it take to do it, and during the summer, what time period are they looking at?
That I can't answer yet. It would just depend on where we're at on the list. I did call them last week, and they still have openings for next summer. So once, we give them the go-ahead, then I'll know all of those.
Does anything else need attention, like the fence around the track, or while we're updating? Is there any other items?
From a facility standpoint, I think the fence is still in really good shape. Really, it's just the track out there.
I think one thing I noticed at one of the last track meets I went to, there was a couple, he was pushing her in a wheelchair, and it's real narrow by the bleachers when they're coming through. The concrete has risen on the posts, and I got hung up on it, and I helped him get off, but if you go along there, it's all.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping
And
maybe
it's
it would come down
dangerous,
some,
really.
but maybe it's something we could look into, maybe building up the walkway between the bleachers and the track. Is that, without seeing it, I'm not sure, but maybe things we should look at as we got till next summer, but.
Yeah, I don't know if the pathway is settled more, but usually, we haven't had bad weather, but it'll push the posts up when freezing, but we haven't had that in a long time.
It's maybe something to look at between now and next summer.
What kind of warranty? Looks like it's lasted at least nine years from the refinish, so.
I know a full track rebuild, like what we're gonna be doing, they said it should last about 20 years, which is right where we're at with what.
Yeah, we're at 23 with the
Right.
overlay
So we're
in between.
actually past due on that. But from a warranty standpoint, that I'm not sure of.
Does anyone have anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the track resurfacing as presented.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we will talk about tutoring.
I'd like to recommend continuing our after-school tutoring at the middle school and high school. The cost for grades 6 through 12 for 2 days a week is approximately $11,000. Tutoring is both voluntary and assigned depending on the student's circumstances. Both principals I have consulted with, and they've indicated it's been a positive impact that the program has on student grades, with fewer failing grades for our students, especially our student athletes. And so I would request your approval to go ahead and continue that program.
Any questions or discussion on the tutoring?
How many kids take advantage of that? Do we know?
I don't know what the average is. I would say, just rough estimate, probably 10 to 12 for the high school. I don't know what middle school is, but 10 to 12, it varies based off the grading period, or time of the grading period, but 10 to 12 probably is the average.
Seems like money well spent to me, yeah.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the, cost for the tutoring.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Tonight's additional board topics, we are going to discuss the recent discussions about online academy being facilitated by the school corporation. We've probably already talked a little bit, but you'll have probably some questions, and Mrs. Cheesham's going to give us an overview to hopefully answer some, or we'll then have a chance to see if there's anything she needs to find out before we see this on future board meetings.
Okay. I'd like to actually take a step back with some preliminary enrollment numbers. I asked Mrs. Link, she does our reporting for me, to get our current ADM. And as of today, our current ADM is 1,008 students. That is down. In the spring, we had 1,031 students, and last fall for our October ADM, it was 1,039. I'm excited that our kindergarten is the largest kindergarten we've had in several years. We've got 75 kindergartners. Our largest elementary class is our 4th grade. They've got 78. So kindergarten second was 75. 4th grade is second with 78. At the high school, our sophomore class is the largest with 91 students right now. Last year we graduated a senior class of 80 students. So just kind of letting you know where we are with our ADM. Having shared those enrollment numbers, it's come to our attention that some of the area schools around us are increasingly looking at offering online options. And we're seeing a similar trend here with our students, especially at our high school level. And when we pulled some reports, it looks like just over 30 students in the last 18 months have chosen an online option versus being in school. Now, some of those students have come back, have decided that wasn't the best choice for them, but for a semester or so that they have chosen to go that route. So when we started hearing this from our area schools, Mrs. Myers, Mr. Hook, and Mr. Dickinson and I met with a representative from Indiana Online Academy, and that's a virtual learning provider that's offered through Central Indiana Education Service Center. So we have service centers all throughout the state. This is not really a school. They just provide online classes that we can pay for our students. What we learned was that students, if we went with this Indiana Online Academy, students would remain enrolled here at Eastern Pulaski School. They would actually come in to Winnemac High School and register, and if we chose to do this, they would graduate with a Winnemac diploma. As far as what we get from the state as far as funding, rather than 100% of the funding, if we have virtual students, we get 85%. Currently, our per student funding this year is $7,453 a student. At 85% of that, we would get $6,319 per student. The cost to us for this online academy is really on a sliding scale. It's based on how many students that would take advantage of it. So it could be anywhere from basically $2,100 to $2,600. You know, the more students, it would be less expensive per student versus a higher amount. So we could estimate a net gain of about $3,700 per student if we decided that this was a direction we wanted to go. You know, if we're looking at dollars, if we went out and we looked at the 30 students that went online that are living in our district and have chosen this virtual option, and we said, hey, how about coming back and enrolling through us, getting a Winnemac degree, but taking the online program, that recoups about $120,000 a year if we got all of those students back after we paid for their courses. I've been hesitant to pursue this option. It's something, you know, we've bounced around as administration. You know, the concept of students earning a Winnemac diploma without having to attend classes here in our campus raises questions that we're trying to answer. However, you know, with the neighboring districts offering this virtual option, I'm feeling the pressure to remain competitive in both our enrollment and our funding right now. So we've been pursuing this. We think as far as online options go, this is the best option that we as administrators have heard of. They're saying they have courses available for middle school and high school. This isn't something that they have available for elementary students. You know, I know that Mrs. Myers and Mr. Hook worked after school today on answering some questions I had for them, that if we chose to go this direction, what kind of procedures that we would put in place. And so I'm bringing it to you. I think the earliest that we could actually bring it to you would be next month, and still have some of our students that have gone online take advantage of this program. This isn't something that we're saying this is online education for Winnemac, but when they come in and say we're withdrawing for an online option, is this something that we would like to be able to offer our students? So knowing what area schools are doing, I wanted to bring it back to your attention after we had gathered some information and see what kind of questions you have and see what kind of direction you'd like us to go, so that I'm prepared for the September board meeting if I'm hearing you want us to continue to move forward.
Okay, ready for questions? Does anyone have questions?
It seems to me like we're almost forced to do it. I don't know if we really have a lot of choices.
I think that's true. I do think we're going to gain $120,000 is probably not likely. Just doing that quick math, if we lose 20 additional students, there's $70,000 we've lost because we have 50 kids now doing online instead of 30. So it's not gaining.
Right.
We're just trying to head off
Yes.
what the surrounding schools are making us do.
And I thought, well, this is Cheesem was talking, will they still qualify for scholarships?
That is one of the questions
Okay.
that we are grappling with as far as class rank and
'Cause
GPA
that's
and.
something we need to consider.
That's where you need to give your opinion. How do we feel about a possible valedictorian at Winnemac Community High School never having set foot in this high school? I don't think I like the idea of that, but we have to start looking, and you guys will have to start bringing your recommendations on what we do want to do sports-wise, academic-wise.
That was my other question, was athletics and participation.
This is where we all need to voice our opinions, because this is a big deal, really.
Yeah, it is.
Can you give more information on testing? Like, so do they have to come in for testing?
They would have to come in for testing. So they can provide accommodations for special education students. Our actual minutes cannot be provided by them. We would need to provide them by the quarter. But as far as testing, the students, if they're in a testing grade, they have to come in and take the iLearn test, or the SAT test, or whatever testing that is required of them. They have to come in and take.
And it will reflect on
and
ours.
it reflects on
as
ours. Correct.
Does the curriculum mirror what IOA is doing with what we're doing? Is that?
That's a good question. And it is supposed to meet state standards, and some of them are dual credit courses that are endorsed by different universities. They are supposed to, they have graduation pathways. They don't have as many as we do, and some of them they just can't offer because of welding and some of those. Healthcare you can't do completely online. So the number of pathways is not available this way.
What grade levels are we? Is this just high school?
Middle and high.
So it's available middle school and high school. They have a 6th grade program that is basically all synchronous. Some of these programs are synchronous, where they're meeting with somebody live. Others are online and not just having Wednesday check-ins and things. My thought would be we would try and target the high school students first that have left to go online or are going online, knowing that it might be an option for 7th and 8th graders. I'm not sure that it's happening as much at 7th and 8th grade as maybe it is at the high school level at this point. The other thing that they do offer is they have a 3-week drop window, that if a student comes in and says, I want to go virtual, and they're part of this program, something that we're considering is having a contract with them, that if they don't do what they need to do within those 3 weeks, that they have to come back in person, or they have to go pay for their own option, and it wouldn't be a Winnemac diploma. And at that point, if we do that within 3 weeks, we would get all but the $50 enrollment fee back. So we wouldn't take a huge loss on paying for something that then the students didn't actually do what they were supposed to do. And we'd have to monitor it. There's the reports that we can pull to make sure that they're applying themselves and doing what they need to do.
Sounds like there could be a lot of bugs to iron out at the start.
Some bugs to iron out. So I have reached out to the area superintendents to try and feel what they're doing about class rank and about some of these other questions that you're bringing up. one of them did say, well, we could enroll out-of-district students, so that, you know, they,
You can't,
they're in the
you
market
can't
for
blame
it.
them,
You
they're,
can't-
they're struggling with enrollment like everyone is, but.
Are they marketing? It's, so.
Some schools are marketing, some schools are not. So, for example, you know, a school an hour south created their own online high school. Some schools have created their own online high schools where it's just online and they have a school number. Other schools aren't marketing it, but are using it in situations like we're talking about when we have a student that's dropping to go virtual, who's looking for this option. They're saying, hey, how about this idea? Trying it that way.
So, when we talk about marketing, are they marketing outside of their district, I guess, so that's what I'm
Probably
curious
depends on
about.
the district.
I guess my thoughts are if we pursue this, I would want to be very transparent. I don't want it to be something that someone finds out when they decide to withdraw. I think it needs to be fair across the board. That's just my thoughts. I'd like it to be transparent. I'm not saying we have to advertise it, but everyone needs to be aware that it's happening. Does that make sense? I'm not saying we like do billboards and things like that, but I would just want to be very transparent with everybody.
Ultimately, we need to know how much we want to incentivize people to do this. Do we want to say, hey, if you do this, we'll let you play every sport, we'll let you do, or do we want to say, you can do this, but it's not the same as being a student here. So we need to decide, you know, we already have some policies with IHSAA and stuff for, you know, you have to take so many, how would that affect this? Like if you have to still take 2 core classes?
That's something that schools are deciding is do we look at it like we treat homeschool students, and that, you know, homeschool students, you have to come in with IHSAA and take X number of courses in order to participate in athletics.
Is that still going to be regulated by IHSA though?
So if we would go with the virtual option, as far as I know, IHSA wouldn't distinguish these classes any different. They would still be taking classes through us. So IHSA wouldn't have a decision in regards to.
It would just be a school decision to say you have to.
But homeschool students, what she's referring to, they have to do one class. So
which would be our policy is requiring that. So we would have to do that through policy.
Your first and foremost major incentive is getting it paid for. I'm assuming that the people that are doing it right now they're putting the bill themselves for their online classes.
I mean, it would get paid for by the ADM that the student is bringing in. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean, like, I'm assuming the people that are right now doing online stuff, it has nothing to do with us, unless it's affiliated with another
Correct.
school. If they're doing it on their own, they're paying for it.
Correct.
So by going through a school, they would not have to incur that cost themselves.
if
Do
it's
you know?
if it's a public virtual school, they would still get the ADM money.
Okay.
So
there's another school is getting our ADM money for those students. And that's
No,
how
I
they
mean,
pay.
I mean incentive for the
Like
student
Like our
themselves.
parents
Like,
getting it.
like
Yeah,
we're thinking
their
about
family's not
sports and
paying
we're
for
thinking
the
about all this other kind
Right.
of stuff. But I mean, like, if I'm a kid and I'm paying X amount of dollars to go to school online right now, but then my local school offers the opportunity for me to do it through them,
But
I don't have to pay for
correct,
that
but
myself.
there are online schools around the state that are enrolling our kids and getting our ADM money, and that's how they're paying
So
for
it's
it.
not costing.
So it's
It's
not-
not costing them anything.
Right.
No, the
Okay.
online school is taking the money, so they're not
Correct.
saving anything,
Okay.
right?
I have
So
Is there a hybrid option? So for instance, our nursing program and our welding program, those are hands-on experiences. Would students be able to be virtual, but if they wanted to come in for some of those hands-on experiences, like, would that be an option? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
can they flow back and forth, or is it just, you know,
According to Indiana Online, that can be an option.
that can be an
That
option?
can be an option.
And then I have another question. Who would be monitoring these students? So would that fall on Emma, like having to check in on them, checking, I don't know, their quarterly grades to make sure that they finished, or is that all on Indiana Learning?
Would you like to answer that
Sorry.
because you were part of your
I just-
understanding, and I mean, I think you schedule.
Yes, I put all their schedules in, and then I think there's gonna be some oversight from my office for like checking logins and checking that kind of thing. But like an Indiana online instructor would be the one bothering the student every day if they're getting zeros on assignments or if they're falling behind.
Sounds like they have like the first and second interventions. When students fall behind, they make those first initial reach out to parents, and then after, like I think they said that there's the second reach out to parents, then they'll turn over to us. They never kick anyone out of their program. That's like a local decision. So it would be our decision when we feel like it's not working. So they would make the initial contact with parents and students when it's not working, and then if they weren't having success, they would hand it over to us.
So then they would fall in our cohort, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. If they don't finish, that falls on us as a
Graduation rate.
correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Same with state testing.
Correct.
We take the good and the bad.
I personally think, I think we have to play the game, but I personally think there has to be some restrictions. So following some of our current policies in place with athletics, maybe being 1 or 2 core classes. That's just my thoughts or personal opinion. Otherwise, I think people are going to fluctuate so much. We're going to use more of our resources, our personnel, tracking these people across the board than maybe what it's
And we
worth
may
to us.
encourage more students to do this. It actually creates a loss of revenue. I mean, it's possible.
That's just my take.
So what can we do to help?
Just this discussion helps us to have some guidance as we put some recommendations into place.
I think like Taylor said, we're kind of being forced into this, but at the same time, there are students that an online option is a better option. But we don't really want to encourage it to be a revolving door. I think, did you say this is quarterly sign-up period, or how often can they
Jump in and
jump
out.
in and out?
It's per semester, but they do have some later registrations. So if it's the synchronous, they're pretty hard and fast early on. But there's some flexibility for some later registrations.
The benefits of Ms. Myers doing the scheduling, if it doesn't work, the transition back to traditional classes would be, I wouldn't say smooth, but it would be more attainable because the classes that we'd schedule them virtual would be the same classes we're offering here in person.
Well, and ultimately, we want to keep them here if we can do that. That's our purpose. But at the end of the day, like I said, there are students, this is a better option, but we don't want this to just be the lazy, easy option for parents that don't want to give their kids a decent education and think it's easier to, I mean, let's just put it out there. Some people just view online schooling as the easy way out.
Yep.
So I don't think we want to incentivize it, but we should probably try to help the kids that this does work for. This is a good fit for. So I'm not in support at all of seeing our valedictorian walk across the stage and has never set foot in our school. And I don't even know how that plays down into class ranks, scholarships, and all of that. So good luck for all of you to figure out what you think is the best route for that. But sports-wise, I think we look at our policy we have now and decide that's the way we want to keep it, because that's pretty much what's going to determine that, right? If we would need a policy change to actually, if they still look at this as a enrolled student here.
So
Feel
you
free
said
to jump in with
surrounding
anything else.
schools are already doing it. Which surrounding schools are already for August?
My understanding is all the Cass County and White County schools have adopted it for this school year, and that West Central was looking at it this month or next month.
So on here you had a projected timeline of January. Would that be anticipated to be moved up?
Yeah, I anticipate bringing it back next month.
So even if it's approved next month, you would be able to implement it immediately, is what
Yes.
you're saying, instead of waiting till January
Yes.
next semester.
Yes.
And I do see potential benefits. I mean, I think the education is changing. Kids are getting out in the workforce earlier. I think it does provide potential. I don't want to say I'm all against it. I think there is, we can look at it in a good aspect as well, but I'm with you. I'd have a really hard time not
It's a
knowing
good
a
fit for
student.
some, but not all.
Yeah.
And we gotta figure out how to make it available to those that truly benefit from it and try to keep the ones here that need to be here.
Would we be able to put some sort of limitation when you talked about the revolving door thing, like kind of put like a number or like an opportunity on it to where like, you know, we're not gonna do the thing like your freshman year you did half a year online and you decide, nah, I'm gonna come back to school, and then your sophomore year you decide, nah, I think I like the online thing better, like to keep, you know, I feel like the flip flopping of a thing would be a nightmare for teachers to have somebody here for, you know, and somebody just keeps changing.
Constantly catching them back up.
The other question I think kind of goes on with you about the hybrid. I think that would be a good model. We often want to like sell the programs that we have, but I also could see it being an issue if, you know, a student doesn't want to take one particular class or one particular teacher, and they're like, well, I want to be in person, all of them, but one virtual class. So it could like work against this as well. So I think those are things we have to figure out.
Do we know why these 30, as you said, 30 kids that we've lost in the last, do we know why? Why did they go online?
It's a wide range of things, from like family issues. We've got students that like family support issues at home causes it, attendance, when we get on about attendance, discipline issues, issues at school with students. We've had people, a bad breakup causes them to go to virtual. So there's not one or two things, it's kind of a plethora of reasons that they go virtual.
I'll have students that are involved in dance or horseback riding or race car driving or, you know, something along those lines. So then they'll go homeschool sometimes, and then, you know, disgruntled people get mad at the school for whatever reason.
You see it on social media all the time, people championing homeschooling, you know, this is why you should just homeschool, but I think most people in the profession know better, but I'll go back to say that it does work for some people, it is a better option, but it's becoming too much of an easy way out for kids, and it's not what's best for them in the long run.
And sometimes it's not even mad at the school, it might be, all my kids are gone, so, you know, they're mad at.
And,
Sure.
And frequently
drama
they
situation.
return.
That's what, I don't love this idea, but if they stay in our virtual program, we still have contact with them. So if it's not working, we can have those discussions with the parents for them to come back here. I think sometimes they go to, right now, a virtual platform, we lose contact with them, and who knows whether they go second step. You know, if it's not working, they might choose another virtual option, they might enroll in a different school. We lose contact. Where here, with this model, we would be able to stay in contact with them and have those discussions, like with the parents, like, hey, this isn't working, maybe come back in person here. But right now, that's not really an option.
I think that's a really good point that I hadn't thought of, is that this way we do keep a handle on them, they're not like just going somewhere for a while, coming back, and we don't even know what they've been doing. We're helping them still, but we still have a connection there, so that's kind of a point I hadn't even thought of, so.
I think there are some strong families that homeschool, like, I think we're always thinking about the kids that drop out, but I mean, I could think literally of at least 10 kids where we would want them to be part of our, like, I think we always think of it as a bad thing, but there are some really strong. So I think, I mean, I think, like I said, there are some people I think we would want to bring into our corporation if possible.
My concern is we're talking about the 30 that are doing it.
Well, yeah.
Are we gonna have 30 more? Then we lose money.
Yeah.
This isn't, I mean, I know a lot of these area schools think they're gonna go out and get other kids from outside of their districts. Well, if every district does this, then you're just back to, did you just drop your revenue by cutting 85% of, so however many students decide that this is their option? So this could be a way to lose money. Maybe. We don't know. I think that's where we need to track and maintain as much record as we can on where were we when this started and where are we a year from now, and a lot of the bugs to work out.
I'm not sure how this works, but am I allowed to say something?
We'll let you just this once.
My concern would be, is there any control, is there any monitoring over who's doing the work? Or can they just Google and chat GPT and parents can do the work? And
That's a good question.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that also, so.
Well,
So
we-
that would be a stipulation as to why you wouldn't
Well,
want
and
the
we see that
valedictorian.
when the state testing results come back. We've
That's-
seen where homeschooled students come back and do very poorly on state testing, but got all A's at homeschooling, correct? I mean,
Yeah.
And we may have discussed this, so when they do have to come in and do a testing, so if the results are terrible, what,
Goes on us.
ultimately, you'd like to think parents would want their children to do as well as possible, and that would be something they would see, but
I would like to think that.
did you get all the discussion you wanted?
I'm not in favor of it. I just, if you want my opinion, I'm not in favor of it. I think that coming to Winamac School is not something that you have to do. It's something that you get to do.
I feel the same way, but
I'll support whatever our administration decides to do to move forward, but I'm not a fan.
I don't think we want to incentivize this. I think we provide the option, but we don't try to encourage it, I guess. Anyone else wants to give their 2 cents before we move on, feel free. It sounds like we're gonna see this pretty soon, so.
I guess I would like to kind of see what these other schools, the options they're giving these students, in which we talked about that.
It'll probably be a fluid thing where we can change and adjust like we've done before on certain things. We can always adjust our policies or adjust our way of handling it. I think we've talked that to death, haven't we, for now? I don't have teacher reports on my agenda.
We
Did
have
you
principal,
have it?
yes, I'm sorry, principal reports.
Yeah, well, I knew they were
It's
back.
on mine,
I thought
but not- it's
they were
not on
dying
yours.
to talk to us, so
Yep.
let's do principal reports.
All right, the class of 2026 had the opportunity to experience the popular senior parking lot painting before the start of school. This has become a popular rite of passage for our seniors. We have some talented and creative students. If you hadn't had a chance to check out their amazing artwork, I would encourage you to check it out. Freshman orientation, we host our annual freshman new student orientation Thursday, July 31st. This is a time where incoming freshmen can meet the high school staff as well as find their classes. We had a great turnout to the orientation, and we're excited to welcome the class of 2029 to WCHS. Lastly, we had our first field trip of the year this last Saturday, where several members of band, choir, and drama traveled to South Bend this weekend to attend a performance of the famous musical Les Mis. Thank you to our chaperones, Ms. Sutton, Mr. Shetro, and Mr. Kiefer for providing this great experience for our students.
There you go. On Monday, August 4th, we had our parent night, and from 5:30 to 6, there was a meet and greet portion where they can try their lockers out and go to their classes, and then at 6 o'clock, we had grade level meetings. 6th grade would go to the auditorium, 7th grade middle school gym, and 8th grade the high school gym. And basically each place was filled to the rim with parents and students, so we had a great turnout. The first few days are off and rolling in the middle school, and this year our theme is linked into Winamac Community Middle School. The first few days are all about making connections right off the bat, and that's what we're doing, and building those links towards a strong success. And I'm very proud to say that I feel like we're off to a good start. One example of us being linked in is we had lunches on time on day one. That never happens, so that was awesome. We haven't had any referrals through 4 days. That's awesome. Good way to be linked in, and that's not always the case either. And so we're off and running. So we hope for after 4 good solid days, 176 more just as LinkedIn.
Just to echo what my colleagues have said, we are off to a great start. And I just want to commend our teachers and our staff. If you drive by the elementary school in July, you often will see teachers' cars there all hours of the day, and they put a lot of time and preparation in creating that environment where students feel safe and welcomed and nurtured. And just to echo, our Meet the Teacher Night, it was packed. And I think that's a testament to our school and to our teachers and to our families for their eagerness to send their kids to school. So we are also off to a really great start. We had our first Friday celebration last Friday, and we did a great job recognizing our new students, celebrating all their birthdays. And this year we had a pledge that we're going to recite every Monday about being a warrior, giving our best, never giving up, and just again trying to build those connections and that sense of community, but also the sense of the conscious discipline that we're not there yet, that growth mindset. So I just want to commend all of our staff for just a job well done and making making sure we're off to a great start. So, thank you.
Thank you, principals. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add to the principals' reports? Okay, Mrs. Cheesem, would you like to give us your report?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to our elementary for their iRead 3 success. Our elementary pass rate for third grade was 95%. We did not have any third grade students retained. And our second grade pass rate was 66%, which is both of those numbers. When I compare the area schools, top in the area. So I want to congratulate the students and the staff for their hard work last year. And I know they'll be geared up and ready to do it again this year. Also, I want to start sharing about September 19th, when students will not come to school. The safety and well-being of our students is always our top priority. And so we really appreciate the day that we're going to be able to dedicate to our staff training. All staff will be participating in a training on the standard reunification method. Sometimes it might be necessary to release students and have parents pick them up off-site through a formal controlled process. It might be a weather event, a power outage, a hazardous material incident, or other crisis at school. So we're going to practice this. It makes the process predictable and less stressful for everybody involved if we know what our roles are going to be. So on September 19th, staff will be at school all day going through this training. Students will be at home. I've reached out to the state. It's going to be an asynchronous day, so more information will be coming from that. Fall sports update. Thursday, volleyball scrimmage at home. Friday, football scrimmage at home. All other Saturday, volleyball invitational at home. All other fall sports are in full swing with away events scheduled this week, so come out and support our students. And really this year's off to a great start, and I want to thank our staff for making that happen. It really was a smooth start and seamless. So, and I give that to the principals and our teachers for making that happen. So.
Can I share one more thing? I forgot because it wasn't on my paper, but during the board meeting, I got a phone call and texted, as you heard my ding, because I knew this happened, but I was going to mention I did put it on my paper. We were, Winamac Middle School was announced on CNN 10, got the big shout out today, and teacher friends are telling me from out, they're like, we saw Winamac Middle School. So, big news, it's all over the nation.
The kids were so excited.
Yeah.
TV show they watch it.
Okay. Does anyone have anything for Mrs. Cheesem? Okay, Mr. Cunningham, it's your turn to start board comment.
I just want to thank everyone for the start of the school year, the enthusiasm. I mean, it's invigorating to us to see you guys work and the job you guys do. It's an amazing process. All you can do is smile, and we're so proud of you, everything that goes on here. That's all I have.
What? It's Roush.
Oh, I'd like to say I did peek in the bus barn, and it was, evidently Johnny was out, but it looks awesome in there.
Well, I have the keys, and I'm supposed to invite you all out there after the executive session because he wanted me to make sure you saw the transformation.
Yeah, I
so.
got it. I got a message to go check it out.
Yeah, big shout out go to Stan and his team because the exterior of this campus looks great. I mean, the stuff that we did in the parking lots and
Yes,
stuff
we did.
Johnny's done over at the bus barn, he has left the doors open and it's easy to drive in over there and check it out. So, yeah, big shout out to those guys as well.
Mr. Campbell?
No comment.
Mr. Kaiser?
Not to beat this dead horse, but this online education is it's a tall drink of water, but confident in all of you to bring us a proposal and move forward. So I know it's going to take a lot of work, and just want to thank you in advance. It's not easy.
And as always, I want to make sure we thank all the people who contributed to our donations this evening. It's always nice the amount of giving we see at our meetings. So that's all I have. So that brings us to adjournment. Does anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.